Okay, so for today's review, we've got a pretty awesome toy. It is the Hot Toys DX Luke Skywalker in his Bespin outfit, and obviously from Star Wars. Um, Out of all the Star Wars movies, the new ones and the old ones, The Empire Strikes Back is by far my favorite. I think it's the best one. And so when I saw they were making this, I was pretty impressed, and it looks great in the pictures and things that I've seen. So happy to finally get my hands on it. So I will. Well, I might show the process of opening this one up, and then, or maybe not. We'll see what it looks like as I open it, and then we'll take a look at the figure as well. I don't know if you can really tell too well, but we've got this nice kind of blended in background where it's basically the shaft that Luke falls down after getting his hand cut off and everything. Spoiler alert. Zoom in a bit here. So you can see there is a nice graphic of, or many graphics of Luke from The Empire Strikes Back within the title of Star Wars. You know, just a variety. And like the X-Wing as well and stuff like that. So that's nice. Then here at the bottom, it just says what it is. So, Bespin Outfit, Luke Skywalker, DX07, 1/6 scale action figure, or collectible figure. And it's distributed by Sideshow. And then there's the Hot Toys and everything. On the back, flip it over, is just the fine print. Nothing too crazy there, just more of the graphic. They've kept it pretty clean, pretty basic. The bottom, top and bottom are just blank, and the sides as well. So I will pop this open. It's got a just this wraparound magnetic cover. I can hardly fit this all in camera, so right here. There we go. We've got a little write-up just talking about basically Luke's situation for when the movie starts. Just kind of a little rundown, I guess, of Luke's role in the movie. And then over here, we've got, I don't know, let's take it out and see what it is. I don't know if I'm supposed to pop that out or not. Yeah. A little, oh, I don't want to rip it. There we go. It's, oh, that's really nice. It's a little card, but if you can see, that's all just cut out dots. Maybe I can zoom in on it. Yeah. So it's all just stenciled out. Now, I think there's a mistake on mine because I'm pretty sure the character's name is not Luke Skywalker, but it's Luke Skywalker. So maybe when they were doing the punch out, they forgot to do mine. Maybe it's a rare variant, and I'm really lucky. Inside, I think that's the figure itself, actually. Yeah, that's a photo of the figure. Yeah, that is two. This information is the same thing that it said on the inside of the lid there. So you can see that. So that's nice. And just silver on the back. A bit of foam there. Oh, let me zoom out. Okay. There it says, do or do not. There is no try, which is kind of nice. Let's see. And there's Luke. Safely tucked away. This is just telling me to read the instructions before I take it out and assemble it. Instructions? Who needs those? This gives some figure details. Let's see if I can... it's just talking about the body type, 30 points of articulation, the true type body. And then of course, obviously there's the two versions of him. There's the before and after getting the beats. Pop this off, I think. There we go. Okay, so as you can see, he's got all his, well, some of his things here. We've got the lightsaber, and I'll go through all the accessories in a bit, so I won't show them all right now. But we've got the two Lukes in there, and then I think, hang on, I can lift this out, and underneath, yeah, we've got the stand that he comes with, or rather the big weather vane. It's not exactly a stand, but it's got that, as well as something here. I think this is the instructions. Sorry, is that a focus? Yeah, this just shows everything, how to use it, how to put them together, how to put the weather vane together, and his basic stand. So I will go through all this on my own, just to make sure I know what I'm doing. I don't want to break anything. And then we'll come back and we'll take a look at the figure and the accessories and his stand. Okay, bye-bye. Okay, we've got him out of the box and all his accessories, so let's take a look at those first. Before we get into the figure, he comes with a lot of good little accessories. First we'll take a look at all the hands here. I'm trying to zoom in so you can see, even on the hands, he's got little freckles and pores and blemishes and things like that. It's kind of a crazy amount of detail. Yeah, you can see all that. It's pretty neat. And there's some veins. If I get the lighting just right, you can see there's little veins in there. Very, very cool. Lots of detail. Got a little hair there. Yeah, so I guess this is his force hand. We can push things back. I'll zoom in a little bit. There we go. So yeah, that's his force hand. And they just peg in like normal. Speaking of which, he came with 2 bags of spare pegs, so 2 for each figure. So that's good. His other hands, he's got this gripping hand, which I think is for him holding onto the weather vane. I guess we'll find out in a bit. That's what it looks like. Pretty big middle finger. Mark Hamill's flipping off a lot of people, I guess. But there we go. We've got a set of fists. I'm not sure if you can pick it up, but there's little red highlights, like on the knuckles and things like that. There is variation in the color, aside from the freckles and things. There you go. Very cool. I'm going to write love and hate across there. No, I won't do that. I won't do that. This looks like a thumbs up, but it's actually his severed hand. I'll zoom in on this one so you can see all that lovely gore. They did a good job on it. It looks so wet. It's pretty gross. But yeah, and I guess you could hold the lightsaber in his hand, because that's the one that gets cut off. As well as this arm, which I haven't tried to put it on yet, but I guess it just pops over. And if you do that, you can see there's veins and everything in this one too. But it's got a little gory end as well. And then this just magnetizes on really easily. In case you want to reenact that moment where it gets chopped off. But yeah, there you go. It's pretty gross. He also has a gun hand, which I've taken the liberty of putting one of the 2 guns he comes with. But yeah, there you go. Looks good. And then we'll take a look at the gun, the other gun. They're both the same gun. They did a really nice job on it. It looks very metallic. I mean, it's just a light plastic, but it's really good weathering on all the you know, on all the edges and things like that. It's very much a Star Wars gun. It's great. There's the nozzle. Yeah, it's really cool. And the little, the trigger is even, you know, some figures they won't cut out that little tiny back piece, but they made it a nice separate trigger, you know, the hole in there, everything, like, lots of great detail. And then, yeah, it looks like a little wood. It's great. And then he has this, which is the cuff. I haven't tried it yet, but I think you just pop off his regular hands, and then you pop this on, because inside you can see where it plugs in. It just pegs into place. Even this has a little speckle texture going on, and these wires are a little rubbery. There is, where is it? Yeah, there's a little bit of slop on mine, right there. I don't care that much, like, it's hardly noticeable, and the rest of it's all clean. That's the only slop I've seen, both on the figure and on the accessories, so I don't mind that much. But that's cool. And then, of course, we've got the lightsabers. So there's two of them. This is the unactivated one, the unlit one. Let's see in there. It's really nice. Very shiny. I love the 70s designs for the vehicles and the weapons and all that stuff. Looks so great. 70s, 80s design. It's got this little metal hook, and this, you know, that can flop around, but that actually does hook onto a little metal hook on his belt, just like in the movies. So that's good. And then we've got, last but not least, the lit lightsaber. Maybe I'll zoom out a bit for you here. So exact same end as the other one, same with that little hook and everything, except we've got this translucent blade. And I'll show that in Luke's hand in a minute. I like how it tapers off so much. One thing that the original movies did that I noticed a lot of other ones don't, like the comics, some of the other toys, things like that. They always make the lightsabers very thick or very straight up and down. But if you watch the old movies, they taper to a really thin end. And I always kind of like that look, for whatever reason. And this one actually gets that correct, which is very clean and thin little lightsaber. It would have been nice if it had lit up, because I've seen that there are some lit up or lightable lightsabers that you can get where the blades glow. But it's not that big a deal at all. And most people, I don't think, would display it with the light always on or anything, so it doesn't matter that to me that much. I'm sure somewhere, if you wanted, you could find a scale lightable lightsaber, but I really don't mind at all, considering all the stuff you're getting already. So there's that. So I will, or we can take a look at the figures now. Okay, be right back. So here are both of them, damaged and non-damaged Luke. So we'll take a look at the normal one first. Zoom in here. I think it looks a lot like Mark Hamill. I think they did a great job. I've heard some people complain that they don't think it looks right. Some people don't like the hair, but I don't know. It looks like one of the best, most recognizable Mark Hamills that I've seen yet. If you zoom in real tight on his face here, you can see, and maybe like this won't pick it up as well as it looks, but like I was saying on the hands, there's freckles and little moles and little everything everywhere. It's crazy. They got all of his like proper moles and stuff, which is really impressive. I think it looks a lot like him, you know, especially that you have to capture this from each angle and still have it look accurate. I think it does. He's also got the separate, I think it's called the PERS system, something like that. which is the eyes that can move on their own, and I'll show that in a minute. But the eyes are incredible. They look like real little eyes in there. They're just this nice glassy thing going on. Let's see. Okay, so I've taken the liberty of putting his lightsaber on there. You see, it just hangs like that and can lift off. I've also put his gun in there. They've done a nice little feature where instead of breaking off, a little tab or something, it's just magnetic and just stays on like that. The gun fits in really well. Looks really good. I always remembered, whenever I watched Star Wars as a kid or an adult, how bulky their guns looked, wobbling back and forth on their belts. And it's got that nice look going on. I don't know, where should I start? The suit is good. I like it. It's pretty form-fitting, but that's fine. Luke's was. As you can see there. They've got all the little pockets and pouches and this weird little short jacket that he wears. I always preferred his Dagobah system, or Bespin Outfit, Dagobah Outfit, whatever you want to call it. It was always my favorite. I don't know why, but I always thought it looked the coolest. This neat little uniform he had. So I'm glad that they made him wearing that one. If they were smart, they would come out. Well, they are smart, but if they wanted to make a lot more money, they would come out maybe with some alternate uniforms that you could put on this figure, like his X-wing suit or something like that. But they'll probably just make, other full figures with those outfits. On his belt, let's see. It's got all the little pouches, even little bolts and things on the bottom. These pouches, I looked under one, it looks like they're all just glued shut, so I'm not going to mess with them. They got a nice little leather material. I don't know what it actually is, but it looks like leather. It's got that grain and everything, so looks good. Goes right around, and then this is just loops, as well as this leg strap. I don't know if that unbuttons or not. I'm not going to try. I don't want to break it. Oops, sorry, other Luke. And then on his belt, he's got the, I don't know, he always had this weird little marking there. I'm not sure what it is, but they've added it on. He's got this other hook. I'm not sure what that's for, but it's just there, because it's there in the movie. The pockets probably work. No, I think they're stitched shut. Underneath, he's got this, when he's on Dagobah, he wears this, tank top thing. But I'm really worried that this stitching is going to come undone on these buttons if I try to show it. It does go all the way down, though. So, to anybody that wants to recreate him, working out with Yoda and stuff, they could take the jacket off and do that. His boots are really nice. When I saw photos of him, I wasn't sure if these were some kind of a rubber boot that's stuck on or anything, but it's actually feels like suede or something, which gives him a little bit of articulation. They look awesome. They did a really good job on it, and it's got a bit of dirty shading or whatever you want to call it, with this sort of plastic bottom, I guess. He stands up well on his own and everything, just because he's flat-footed there, so that works really well. Yeah. And that's his, I think his lightsaber hand I put on. And then just the open hand. Now, I'll show you the piers system, which is, if you pop his head off, oh my god! He's got a magnet there and a magnet there. Which, with this little nub, if you just turn it a bit, be very gentle with it. Oh, I'll do it. You can see he looks around, right? It's kind of creepy, but it adds a lot to the, just to the expression. Like, it completely changes it adds so much life to the character, pretty much, is what I'm saying. I would be careful with it. I wouldn't overuse it. I feel like it's gonna, too much wear and tear is gonna snap the little peg off, and then his eyes will be stuck. But it's really neat. And then the hair just magnetizes back on. There is problems with these magnets. One of them might come unglued, and that actually happened to the other Luke here, and I'll show you in a second. And I've heard of that happening to other people as well, which for the price and quality of these figures, that shouldn't happen. But I mean, really, so far that's the only problem I've had at all. So it's not that big of a deal. Let's take a look at the damaged Luke. He's really cool. They did a good job on his gore there. Zoom in on his face. And he's got that windswept hair going on. See his teeth. They added a bit of gloss to his teeth. His outfit is all mangled up in different spots. And his knees. See that. But it looks good. I'm not sure which one I think looks more like Mark Hamill. Whatever you think. But maybe this one, because he has a bit more expression going on. And then maybe this one's hair. I suppose you could switch out their hair if you wanted. Otherwise, the outfit's virtually the same. It's just got the battle damage. See his little knees? And this little thing is fallen off. They've done some nice, I don't know, they just took something and rubbed it over or did whatever to add this kind of damage. A little bit of blood on there. And I gave him, this is the gun hand in action. He's freaked out. Stay away from me. There you go. So I'm going to switch out his bloodied hand. We'll take a look at that. Oh yeah, before I get to the bloody stump, here's the tourniquet on his arm. Just popped it on. It's pretty cool. You just roll up his sleeve and that's it. Okay, here he is with his bloody arm. Sorry, his hair's popping up, and I'll deal with that in a second actually. But yeah, his bloody stump. You just pop the arm off at the elbow. I got to admit, I did not like popping his arm off. It wasn't easy, and I was really afraid that I was gonna snap the this whole middle. That looks really delicate to me, and I really didn't want to break that. But now that I've got the bloody arm on, I'm probably gonna leave it on anyways, because really that's the point of this Luke. That's what he's here for, to have his bloody arm. And then as shown, yeah, you could have that. Oh, boom. So that's pretty cool. Now I'm going to deal with his his head. So like with the other one, you can take his hair off, but the problem is this little magnet, which attaches to a square right there, as well as a square in there. So they both came unglued, and now they're just stuck together. Whoops. Sorry about that. Okay, so they're stuck together. Now they can easily be glued back in. It's not really a problem. I'll just get some kind of a crazy glue or something and pop them back in. But that shouldn't be happening, Then I've read that happening to other people. It's not just mine. But that's really the worst of it. And once again, he's got his feature as well. You can look around in whatever way. Pretty cool. It's kind of creepy. So anyways, that is that Luke. And apparently I was reading in the instructions that the tip of the lightsaber can come off. I don't think I want to do it, just because it feels like it's pretty well put in there. But I guess you can pop both the blades off, which is nice. Don't take my word for it, but that's what it says in the instructions. So, you know, do it at your own risk, I guess. So that's the two Lukes so far. Now I will set up his stands and we'll take a look at those. So, be right back. Keep your hair down, Luke. Jeesh. So, here's the stands that he comes with, or they come with. This is, there you go. You can see there, it says, I think you can see, it says Star Wars, Luke Skywalker, and then it's got the MMS DX. And this is really a nice one. It's to recreate the look of Han Solo, the chamber where Han Solo got put in carbonite. So it's got these, you know, these cool lights running around it. They're just painted on, but it looks nice. Has a good effect to it. And then he stands on there very well. And on top, it's just, get the light back on. There we go. On top, it's just got, you know, kind of a fake rough metal floor finish, just black. And this plaque is, yeah, a little metal one and stuff. It's very cool. And in the back, you can plug in. It comes with a couple types of these stands. This can extend up too, but it seems to hold them on pretty well. Oh, also, I didn't go over the articulation, but he's got, I believe it's called the True Type for Hot Toys, and it's got 30 points of articulation. He's, you know, his costume's a little tight, but generally speaking, he's got a lot of range. He also comes with this more standard, simple stand. You know, Star Wars, says Luke Skywalker there. Pretty simple. And then it's got this adjustable stand on it, in case you just want a smaller, easier looking stand compared to that pretty big one. This stand piece does fit in place of this stand piece, but just design wise it looks like this one's meant to be with this a lot more, and this is a smoother style to match that. And then we'll go to the final big stand. So I'm just going to hold the camera by hand here because this thing is massive, as you can see. Now this is the weather vane that Luke grabbed onto when he fell down the shaft after escaping Vader, to use the word lightly, escaping. This thing is gigantic, but it looks really great. As you can see, these are, there's metal and plastic in this, so it's actually pretty sturdy. It doesn't look like this would hold it. This piece is metal, I believe, or is it? Yeah, I think it is. And this base is plastic, but it took a bit to actually get this down in there. But I see why now, because it has to be, you know, so sturdy for this tiny base to cover this massive thing. There's no problems. I don't feel like Luke's gonna go falling off it or anything like that. He looks great on there. It's really similar to the movie. You can see, get some little details there. These little lights don't light up, but up here, this does light up, and in this base it lights up, and then these red lights light up, and I'll turn that on in a second. Also, this top, you can attach this to your ceiling if you want, but you can also attach it to your wall by just folding that down And so you could just mount that to the side of your wall if you want it up on your ceiling. I'd be a little hesitant to mount this thing to my ceiling or wall just because if it fell, I wouldn't want all of these, you know, little pieces to break off or anything like that. So if you do it, just make sure, you know, I've only ever seen one person mount this on their ceiling. So just make sure everything's really well put in place, just so you don't risk such a big expensive figure. Right. And there's some weathering on it, not too much. I don't remember exactly how dirty it's supposed to be in the movie. I suppose you could always go in and do a little extra weathering yourself, and little scuffs and chips and everything, but it does look pretty good. There's some soft airbrushing style stuff going on. Okay, so when I opened it, it lit up just fine, but then I think the battery is actually dying a little bit because it's probably been sitting in a box for a long time. And it seems just to be kind of like watch battery style batteries, so I'm going to pick a few more up, but this will light up for a second, so let me turn off the light here, and then I'll show you a shot of it glowing. There we go. Very cool. It'll probably die on me really fast, but as you can see, it looks awesome. And with Luke in there underneath holding on for his life, they did a great job. And it fluctuates, and yeah, it's great. So there you go. That is Luke. Very cool. Yeah, see, when the battery is starting to die, the blue one starts to die a lot faster than the red one. But I think it's just a battery thing, so not really a problem. And the button is hidden just around back here. That's it. So there we go, two really great Luke figures in a single pack, and with a couple amazing bases as well. If it weren't for the little hair problem on this Luke, the little magnet problem, then you know, I wouldn't have a single thing wrong with these. They are great. I still recommend them though. That little magnet problem is not enough to, you know, stop anybody from buying it. That's easily fixed. So if you have any questions or comments, feel free to, you know, leave them below, and I'll try to answer what I can. I probably missed a lot on this because these things are quite extensive. But there you go. Okay, thanks for watching.